Previously on The Black Man Misunderstood.
Cutting people off, I understand, conserve your energy, but I can walk away from the process. Black man, misunderstood.
It's your boy Mike B.
In the neighborhood therapist. Welcome to the Black Man Misunderstood. Here we discuss topics about the black man that others are afraid to speak on. I am your host, Justice Payne Tyson, but you know me as the neighborhood therapist, and I'm rocking with my brethren as always.
Mike B, yeah.
This is 90s baby and R&B, near and dear to my heart and Mike's heart. Mike, where we going with this, brother?
Whew, bro, it's the heart or soul of who I guess me and you've been since we've been little, bro. So
That's facts.
we can't just keep talking about ourselves. So we brought on a couple of guests this episode, sir. So before we go any further, we would like them to introduce who they are and what they do. Ladies.
Oh, we should have had a little cute introduction like that. So I'm Charmaine, this is Jasmine, and we are
mentally dope. we tried.
Okay.
Yeah, so we are mentally dope. We are two black licensed therapists in the state of Arkansas. And we have a podcast, like we said, called Mentally Dope, where we discuss mental health in the black culture.
I need y'all to put some extra respect on that therapist, LPC supervisors.
That's true.
Yeah.
Let them know.
Yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Let them know.
Licensed professional counselors and supervisors.
You go. Need more, yeah. I like that. All right. Mike, you got the floor, brother.
I don't actually. Yeah.
No? Okay.
We good.
Yeah, say less. I'm gonna jump right into it now. Queens, what type of clientele do y'all see?
I'll say I see. Sorry, we on a delay, but I see women and teenagers with trauma and anxiety. That's my favorite group of people to see. Hopefully they black, but if they not, we still good. But that's my favorite, kind of people to work with. What about you, Charmaine?
I see 15 and up, male and females. I also do couples and I do families. And I don't know, I don't really just have like a jam right now. It's probably like black males or females between the ages of like 18 and like 40.
Okay.
I also really love right now working with like family duos. So like father and daughters and like mother and daughters and working on repairing those relationships.
Yeah, that's needed. That's sure.
Definitely. So now that you both, because it sounds, both work with teens or try to work with teens when y'all can. Why did y'all happen to choose this profession though?
I mean, it's deep for me. I mean, I'm not gonna go into like the whole thing, but of course, I just am trying to be the person that I needed when I was young. That's probably why I have a heart so much for like young people and teens and that kind of thing. So that's really my motivation. Like, be what I needed and give that to other people and while giving it to myself.
Yeah. And for me, it is just like seeing the gap of like the lack of information and the things that we do not know about ourselves and about our journeys, and then seeing how those things show up, and whether it's in our inabilities to like maintain jobs, or our inabilities to like maintain finances, and our inabilities to maintain marriages and to like maintain families. And then so like the same thing about trying to be certain things that I also did not have, but also being able to take my personal of things that I did have and my professional education and combine those two, which is one reason why I love working with mothers and daughters, because I had a great relationship with my mother. And I love that. But then like as I got older, I realized like how much that influenced who I was as a person, like how much that influenced how I maintain relationships and how I did those things of that nature. And then I realized people who did not have those things. So like repairing that was really, really big for me to actually like to like show emphasis on like what could be of this relationship and how it could affect so many other dynamics of your life.
Respect, respect. Okay, okay. So the last of the pleasantries, this podcast, the Mentally Dope podcast.
Yeah.
How did that come about?
So I feel like that me and Jasmine can't really tell which one is Pinky and which one's Brain, but Jasmine just kind of sort of calls me sometimes and be like, we on some like world domination stuff. So whatever. She just has random ideas. And she called me one day and she was like, I want to do a podcast where we discuss like movies and music and stuff like that. And I was like, say less, like that's like my lane. So we just took it, ran with it, started just coming up with different topics, and here we are hoping to be able to build a bridge in our Black culture of like things that we're already interested in. Like we already watch all these movies and listen to all these songs. So can we like build a bridge in between mental health and that Black culture aspect?
Fact. That's real.
Fact.
Jasmine, what's your take?
I mean, really the same thing. I mean, Charmaine always has something beautiful and eloquent to say. I'm interested in what Black people are doing, and feel like if we can make mental health just like a tiny bit more accessible by just talking about it, by people seeing our face, by people like understanding, oh, like there's a Black therapist that's thinking about the stuff that I'm thinking about, right? Or like framing it in their brain that it'd be more accessible. Like maybe people will start therapy a little bit more, or maybe it'll be more normalized, or people will just, I don't know, get healed. Not everybody, therapy ain't for everybody, but it's good to intersect with other things that kind of have a mental health aspect, as y'all know. So,
Facts, facts. Okay, okay. Mike, you got some competition today, brother.
What you mean? Hold up.
Just saying. I'm just saying.
Alright.
Are we ready for R&B smoke?
Yes, sir. Let's
Let's
get
go.
into this, boy.
Like
I'm nervous.
rub
but I'm
hands
here
like
for it.
Birdman.
Okay. All right. All right. So I'll go ahead and pop this off, Mike. Am I allowed to give a history lesson?
Go ahead, sir. Go ahead.
All right. So, in Alki Bulan, known as modern day Africa, okay, we had spiritual hymns. These hymns turned into spiritual and they went to secular after the transatlantic slave trade that they keep trying to say didn't happen or that we should forget about. I'm not going to be petty today, though.
Be
Okay.
petty if you need to.
So,
I'm here with you.
okay. These secular music, these secular hymns became what was called race music, which was just a nice word for black music. Okay. Later it changed to rhythm and blues, and they changed that in the 1940s. Okay. So when you think of rhythm and blues in the 1940s, you think of the Ink Spots with the song Maybe. For those of you that's like, what is he talking about? If you're a video gamer and you've played Fallout, that's the intro song, that's the outro song. That's us, by the way. Okay. But next, okay.
Jebs, go ahead, bro.
Yeah, let's sprinkle some gems out here.
So from the 40s to the 60s, that's considered rhythm and blues. That you got that type of music, right? 60s to the 70s, they used the term soulful and funk. So when you think about that, you think of the Temptations, Just My Imagination, Running Away from Me. Come on, y'all know. Don't make me sing out. But okay, that's funky, but that was still considered rhythm and blues, but it was soulful and funk. Does that make sense? Okay.
Yeah.
Then the late 80s birthed what we know as contemporary R&B. That is to date what we call R&B. That's what we think of R&B. When you think of that, you think of Shy. And If I Ever Fall in Love Again, okay? Usher, You Got It
Go ahead
Bad.
and hit that high note.
Usher, You Got It Bad. And then Tim's Free My Mind, which is newer, okay? That's what you think of when you think of R&B and, right now in 2022. So moving forward, what we're going to be talking about is contemporary R&B. This is just for the listeners, so y'all not confused. Okay, so don't be jumping on us if we bring up a '70s song. We're stuck in the '90s. This is '90s babies and R&B for a reason. Okay, just that's all I'm asking. But that's the little history lesson. My opinion. That's where R&B comes from. Any questions from the guests? Might be anybody.
Brad, I think you just hit it on the top of its head, though. Like, because I feel like most people forget the aspect of the hymn
Mm-hmm.
to rhythm and blues, and don't realize how many times we like these artists nowadays and in the past have used songs interchangeably and just switched up the lyrics.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So
And it always goes back to slavery, just so y'all know. That's
Right.
always the root.
facts.
Okay, it started with us, but go ahead.
Now respect. So let's get cracking.
Mm.
Who has the best era of R&B at this moment in time between the 40s and the 2000s, like my brother just stated, and why?
Ladies first.
I think it's definitely the 90s. I don't. Yeah, it's the 90s to me, hands down. It's the 90s. I think that the 90s took a complete change in 90s and like how music was presented. We also have the 90s is when they had like that New Jack City swing versus the P Diddy area, when we actually like merged R&B and hip hop, which like brought in like a whole nother like genre of like having like these two things put together. And also people can say whatever they wanted to say, but I feel like that the 90s was like the last time that we had like really, really good R&B, like actual soulful singers, and then we kind of went,
Okay,
Shots fired.
that's what you do. All right.
Ooh, coming with the heat.
Guns
He
blazing. All right. Ooh,
I'm not saying that we don't have any out right now, but I do think that there was a shift in the way that music sounded.
fair.
Yes.
That's fair. Whew. I'm nervous because I feel like anything I say is gonna get me canceled, but it's okay because we out here. We gonna do it. And also, I'm from the generation. I mean, okay, this is a diplomatic answer. Is that I feel like the best genre or like the decade of R&B is the one that you grew up in, right? The one that's like nostalgic and that you listened to as a kid and like you found. Well, I think we're going to talk about that later, but like you were like learning yourself and discovering yourself and like interacting with your peers about the songs that were on the radio or Quiet Storm. I feel, was that a local thing or all the black people had that on the radio?
We had
station?
Quiet
We had one too.
Oh yeah, we had quite.
Yeah, I don't know where y'all grew up, but in that phase of my life, I was in Arkansas, and the Quiet Storm we put on the radio and just listened to all the R&B, the smooth R&B, and all the stuff. It was a moment. You had to be there for sure. But did that answer the question? For me, 90s, 2000s, that's where I'm at. That's where I'm landing.
Go ahead, Mike.
Come on, bro. You already know
Where
what
you
I was
going?
about to say. Please. I'm agreeing with the ladies, the 90s to the 2000s, honestly, because you got to include the 2000s. The reason why I say include the 2000s is because those artists from the 90s carried the music all the way to the early 2000s.
Okay, yeah.
So that's why that whole genre as a whole, boom.
But what's this
Thick.
face for? Why are you making this face? You disagree?
Because I already know he about to go old school. And he
I
about
can
to say,
see
yo,
his
the
face
70s.
saying he
I
not,
already
Mike,
know where
chill.
he's about to go.
Now, don't get me wrong.
he not here for none of it.
Listen, my number two has to be the '80s. I still feel like that there's something about like Prince and the Isley Brothers and like all of that. Like,
But
we
the
just
Isley,
Don't say
can't.
the
the
Isley
Isley is
Brothers.
70s though.
Yes.
But I can give you
Okay.
They a
They
long
have.
time. They've been around a long time.
Mike, you would be wrong, bro. You'd be wrong. As much as I love the 70s music, bro, it's the 90s. It's the 90s.
Okay.
And it's
Oh,
it's
I
an
was about to
easy
say.
90s because the people born in 1970 and 1980s, they'll listen to 90s music. They'll listen to Usher. Oh, that's my boo. You'll catch your grandmother saying certain things about the
Facts.
90s artists. You know what I mean? So we're good. It's the 90s.
True.
That's landslide. No problem. Okay. All right. Now I'm gonna get to the real smoke. I want to smoke with all three of
All right, let's
y'all.
go.
Okay, like Birdman say, all three of y'all. I ain't gonna say it no more. Okay. What is your favorite R&B song of all time?
I need to figure out what this answer is, because
Come
I've
on.
been fighting. Bruh, I love the 90s so much. There's so many different artists, groups, and whatnot that I listen to. This is a tough.
So the best R&B song of all time comes from the 90s. Is what I'm hearing for you. It's coming.
Listen. I'm not saying best. I'm saying my favorite R&B song of all time.
Yeah.
Ooh, this is all
You,
time.
All
Ooh,
time.
hold on,
What a
bro.
question.
Mike B.
Come
You
on,
trying to
kidding
cap
me.
right now, bro? Don't do that. No.
Nah, I just thought about this.
All right, so it does say favorite, but I am asking, what is the best R&B song of all time? That's what I'm asking. I want smoke.
All time, the best.
It's
Is
hard.
there one?
Yo, facts. I'm trying to think of this. I'm
It's
trying to think of
her
this,
therapist
bruh.
being petty. I
Because
promise.
you look, bro, you are being petty because you know I was about to. If you want me to pick a song, I'm about to go Michael on y'all
R&B.
and pick some Michael Jackson song called "The Day." It's the R&B flow. Y'all sleeping. You sleeping on my boy
Go ahead.
Michael.
No, straight
Human
like
nature is
Michael's
Okay.
cool.
Stop playing with me. Stop playing with me.
And highly sampled.
And that same
Yeah.
beat is used in like several
Yeah,
other songs that I
highly
would put on my
sampled.
top list.
Okay.
I give you human nature. So you going human nature?
I might have to go Human Nature, even though it's not my favorite Mike song, but the R&B style and flow of Michael
All
songs,
time.
yeah,
Okay.
that has
But when did that song come out? What year was that?
that came in like 1984,
Okay.
83, what somewhere around there.
Okay. We won't smoke. I'm just saying that's the 80s and not the 90s, but I understand.
Well, he said all time.
All time. Okay, we're not in the decade.
It's all
I'm
time.
just saying for the
It was all
record.
time. It was all time.
Well, I'm gonna be a hypocrite as well. I feel the same way. For the record, I said 90s, 2000s, but my favorite R&B song, I don't know. I don't think it would be. I wouldn't pick something in the 90s or 2000s. I don't think. For my favorite, I love anything Shaka Khan, all the things. It could take me to another place or a little. Ooh, Sade. I don't know, but right now I'm gonna say Shaka Khan. Sweet Thing is what I got, and that's not from the 90s and 2000s, but it's good. It's good to me.
Whoa, sweet thing. Okay.
Okay,
Don't
come
you
on.
know? Hey, Mike,
That's
I
what
think
she
you
said.
got bumped on that one, bro.
Yo, Brad, she brought Shaka. I felt it through the
Okay. No pressure, Queen.
Today, ask me tomorrow, it'll be different. But go ahead.
What you mean?
I ain't got it. Like I just what?
I thought you had
I
something.
got it. No, I do not have a favorite of all time. Like I just can't. I can't.
Top 3.
And see, I feel like that even if you ask me that, it's going to be like so random and backwards. I will say that Isley Brothers' Summer Breeze is somewhere up in the top.
God. Okay. Oh my God. Okay.
It's getting crazy.
Yo, this
It's
getting
getting
cold.
crazy.
This is getting cold. Hey,
It's somewhere in between Boys to Men on Bended Knee or End of the Road. There's something about those songs that just get you.
Okay, top that.
I don't know.
Look, you dropping gems, but you know, I'm gonna take you out the hot seat real quick. Mr. Therapist,
Okay.
sir, you putting everyone in the seat. Give me the song. Give me the song, sir.
What's up? Yo, talk to me nice. Talk to me nice. You address me too, bro. Heather Headley in my mind. No debate.
Shoot. Are you serious?
Talk to me nice. Talk to me nice.
What's the why?
I'm dead
Please
serious.
tell me a why.
Talk to me nice. And as much as I love Voyage to Atlantis, Ron Isley and them, as much as I love all of those, right?
Where are my spots?
When you
Let me
throw
like
on
smooth my
Heather
whole
Headley
face.
and you take yourself through that song,
I'm stressed out. You came out with that? Okay.
let the song take you to a different place. And then those last stanzas of a bars, when she just hitting the yeah, that has been sampled multiple times in hip hop. I don't know if that's been sampled more than any other R&B song to date. Maybe Human Nature, but I want to say what? SWV did that?
Yep.
But so did Chris Brown and
Who else?
somebody else.
Several. Yeah.
Yeah. But I don't know if it's been sampled more than Heather Headley in my mind.
You're saying this.
And that's one of those underrated songs you just like, oh, okay, it came, it went. But if you really have a moment, you sit down, put some headphones on, you're going to be like, what the because she blowing, that's to me, that's rhythm and blues. That's the inception of it. That's everything. Even as a man, I got to sit.
I mean, now don't get me wrong, she's blowing, but I ain't gonna lie to you and tell you that that song ain't on me and Jasmine's list for a potential problem of why somebody is in her mind that they still her man. I'm just
That was
saying
the
that sounds a
first
little.
song. We said, hey, we're going to have to do a video about this because it's not healthy.
Okay.
We're going to talk
Okay.
about it.
Okay.
They bringing it. I love it.
That's where I'm going, Mike.
I love it. I love it.
But,
Love
okay.
it. Wow.
The rationale was solid, though. I'll
I
give you that.
appreciate it. I appreciate it.
I respect
All
your
right.
opinion.
Next. Favorite R&B song from the 90s. So this is just the 90s.
And I'm telling you, like, I literally was like going up and down my playlist, and like, and I was like, I just can't. I just can't. So what I would say is probably like one of those songs that like represents 90s R&B. I'm not gonna say it's probably like the best, but like I think it like the song that you play whenever anybody mentions 90s R&B. Mary J. Blige, Real Love.
Mm.
I get it. I can understand it.
That's in the,
And I probably hate it because they played it out. I was sick of it because they
Right.
played that song out.
right.
I don't know. This is not 90. This is not technically 90s. I just had to look it up. But when I was young, my favorite song, which I had no business listening to really, was Peaches and Cream. 112. But that was it for me. Do you hear me? Didn't know what they was really talking about. But yeah, that was it.
Is that considered
But I think it was 2001.
right? Is that considered R&B or is that considered pop?
Oh my
Ooh.
gosh.
See, I don't know because like to me, I feel like that was like the beauty of 112 because Q was definitely R&B, and Slim was definitely more poppy,
That song is kind of popular.
and they just kind of like combined the two together,
Mike,
That's a good point.
which is how you got Peaches and Cream, but you also
Right.
got like Anywhere and Only You.
Talking right now.
And then like you know the Only You remix that had like
Bruh.
Mason Biggie in it.
Bruh. I ain't gotta say no more. Look.
Hey. Mike B, are you letting Jasmine make it?
Peaches and Cream.
You can.
I looked at it.
You can.
It's close.
Okay.
It's real close. That's that 01.
Okay.
Right.
So you gonna let her make it?
I'm gonna let her make it. All right.
Hey, you ain't got to go easy on me.
No, it's not
do what
going
you gotta
easy.
do.
It goes back to what I said earlier that the 90s artists fell right into the early 2000s.
Right.
So it kind of makes sense that you can't like separate the two because
True.
in all honesty, the song I'm gonna pick was on their 90. It was 112 and it was Cupid. I was listening to that whole album when I was tiny. I should have been listening to that whole album. That album was on replay. That's why Cupid is one of my favorites. Yep.
Yeah. I'm gonna give y'all another one that was not a big group, but I feel like that one song just killed it for me. Play it. Cheers to you.
How does that go?
Cheers to you for giving me.
And then like you know even like the new one with like Pop Smoke doing like the remake to Diana.
Hey, you a real one for that. That's what I'm talking about. Okay, Mike. Okay, I'm not mad at the 112.
Bruh. Told you. Come on, say.
Okay, I hear you.
Come on.
So Queens, before I go, I just want to let y'all know I'm going to be petty the rest of this to Mike because me and Mike just be going bar for bar, blow for blow. Okay,
Yeah.
and I'm not trying to top y'all answers. I just want to top Mike answers. That's all. You went 112 Cupid.
Yeah.
Correct.
Oh, I already know where you about to go. Come on.
Where I'm going.
Come on. No, come on.
Listen. When you get this dark skinned brother on the line, women immediately go, "Whoo, Tyrese." Lately,
He said lately.
Oh no! See, I would have said
Sweet Lady is it's a nice serenade, but lately that hit different.
It did.
I don't think your choice top mine though. I don't think it top mine though. Just to let you know that. The only way you top that 112 is if you had went Usher.
I don't agree because I base mine off because I am a heterosexual man. I base mine off of pettiness. So if I sing it to a woman, right? If I sing it to a lady, which one is gonna have her like, huh?
Bruh,
That's toxic.
Usher.
Have I
No,
told
no, no,
you
no,
I
no,
love
no,
you?
no, no, no. You make me
Okay.
wanna. That's it. You make me wanna off the rip.
Usher's
Come on.
not in this conversation, Mike B.
Wait,
Yeah.
wait,
But
wait. Oh,
listen, no, listen. If we're talking about like being serenaded, if we
two
had to be
different
serenaded
things. Two different
between
things.
Lately, Cupid, and you make me wanna, you but not go Usher on that.
Serenade, no. Serenade the ladies is a different animal. But I'm saying, like, come on now.
Mike B. My opinion. The '90s was about serenading the ladies. Just my opinion. Just my opinion. It was about fun and serenading the ladies.
I'm gonna combat you on that a little bit and say it was a little. It's two things. Hence why one of our questions later also. It's
Okay.
about serenading the lady, yes.
Okay.
But two, it was also about exploring your sexuality. I'll get to that later.
All right. You got. All right. Say less, bro. I ain't about to. Okay. All right. Next question. What impact has R&B music had on your life?
For me, it's just the soundtrack of my life. I would just say, like, if there is a playlist, Charmaine, every time you see me, what's going on in the background? We got a playlist for everything. I got so many Spotify playlists, it don't make no sense. But it's mostly R&B music. But I will say, I am late to the party. I have to be authentic here as I show up and say this. I am late to the party on some things because I grew up in a very devoutly Christian household and we could not listen to some of these things. So some of the stuff I'm still learning about. I don't need no judgment. Judge your mama for that. But I'm saying
Absolutely.
I don't know all the stuff. Like I can tell you about the gospel. I can tell you about all of that. Some of this stuff I'm still being re-educated on, but for me, it's still R&B, still the first love. And also gospel and R&B, like what the crossover is is crazy.
Charmaine.
I think that literally it is like the soundtrack of my life. And then kind of like Jasmine said, when you bring in the crossovers of jazz, and then like you bring over the crossovers of hip hop, and you bring over the gospel, the crossovers of like gospel, like it just becomes the soundtrack. Like I remember, like yeah, growing up in a household that we knew like it was Saturday because like we woke up on Saturday mornings. Mine was always Keith Sweat. Keith Sweat played early, so on
Saturday
Saturday.
morning.
As, as soon as I heard that, like I was like, okay, it's time for us to get up and start cleaning. And then halfway through the cleaning, it turned into a concert because like we started singing. So like those things, and then like I remember like first like discovering hip hop and like these things. And I think that for me, it was actually having those moments of sitting down, not only like knowing the words, but like listening to them, like, oh wait, they're telling stories in this stuff. And like the stories like resonate with like how I feel and like things that are going on, or like I learned about things through these stories. So like there were certain things that I didn't experience, but I heard them through these stories, and I was like, oh yeah, that's cool. Or like okay, like I don't know how that feels, but like that sounds bad. But so like all of those things too. Like it was almost like a teacher.
Fact.
That's deep.
I'm gonna jump in right now. Definitely had a huge impact. To start, I guess it was my connection to my sister first. Because I have an older sister, 10 years. Most of the listeners know that from previous seasons. And anything she listened to, I listened to. She may not have realized it in the moment that I wasn't supposed to listen to it, but I was listening to it. But I think that definitely shaped the way I went about through life and following my sister's footsteps in certain things. That's how it went. And also, the neighborhood therapist could tell you I was always the guy who wore his heart on his sleeve. So I was very in tune with my emotions, but I also I love hard. I did love quick. Had to learn how to maneuver around that. So yeah, definitely. That I can say R&B has impacted my life, and not to mention I was the dude in college with my roommate. One of my roommates. You can come during the middle of the day, and we're playing straight R&B in the room doing work, and everybody's like, "Yo!" If they didn't know us, they would have thought something else.
Oh, okay. I see where you went with that. All right, heard you. Understood.
Yep.
So for me, it's Rocky. So R&B is my foundation. That's what I grew up on. That's what my mother played. She's a '70s baby. I ain't trying to give her age, but it is what it is. That's what she played. She played '80s. She played '90s. So that's what I grew up on. Now, if you know me from where I'm from, people don't really they wouldn't believe that because they look at the menacing person that I was. I was real aggressive listening to hip hop, but I started out as a lover. I'm still a lover. I'm like when Trey Songz be talking about some of the toxic things he do when he be cooning in his mouth. I mean, not cooning, crooning. I'm trying to say the right word, crooning.
I mean, he might be doing both, but yes.
Yeah. Now, yeah, facts. But I'm into that. I'm a lover's lover. Like I take things slow. I like to be intimate and things like that. That comes from R&B, but it's my foundation. So I agree with y'all. I'm with y'all. Um, Taking that, right? So I'm going to go into a different topic because that was my foundation, but I was looked at as an aggressive person. And sometimes there was I'm just gonna say events because I don't know statute of limitations right now, right? I'm just gonna say there were events that would occur.
May or may not have happened.
May or may not have happened. There you go. Where somebody was getting aggressive, they were getting testy, and depending on the music that I was listening to, whether it was 50 Cent at that time or it was Sade Smooth Operator, would give you the response I was gonna give you. So my next question is R&B and mental health. Why do we feel what's being said in those lyrics so much?
I think that for one, it's almost like the like it's strumming my pain with his fingers, killing me softly with his words. It's literally the idea of like hearing your emotion come like play out like in a melody. Like I know going through breakups and I know what songs that I would like listen to, like putting Beyonce Resentment on repeat, and I was just like, this is like my
Mhm.
whole feelings and everything that I've been through. And then but then like also like having those moments where there are certain songs that you can listen to and it's like, yeah, that's exactly how I'm feeling, or like I need that motivation to like pump me up, or like so like so all of those things, I think it just like it literally will like speak back to us in a different way. And I think that also, like you said, on the opposite end, we talk about how controlling it can be. And so like being able to be aware of the control that music can have over you. Like me and Jasmine talked about that sometimes you can have down moods or down moments where yeah, you need to be in a space where you're like, unbreak my heart and like, crying and stuff like that. But if I know that I'm not in a good headspace and I just had a breakup, Nuck If You Buck does not need to get played, because then I'm gonna be out there on some Jasmine Sullivan type stuff, tearing up tearing up stuff that does not need to be tore up because I done got hyped up in a way that I should not have gotten hyped up. I need to come back down. And I think that sometimes that music has like that like control over us as well too. That it can also push our mood in different directions. I know sometimes when I'm having a really, really bad day, I have a complete playlist for that. A playlist to like, mellow me out because I know that it's gonna like make me feel better. I listen to it the whole drive home and it just like brings my entire mood down. And so it's like that control that music can also have over us as well.
Hard. How you expect any of us to follow that up, Queen? I'm just saying, like,
I'm like, what?
You gonna laugh next time.
like, right, like,
Dang.
good Lord.
No.
Okay, I guess I'll try. I almost feel like it's because this is the thing that I have to compare it to. When I was a child, I didn't really know what they were talking about. I just knew there was emotion happening. Like we talking about Lauryn Hill. I can't even believe that wasn't even whatever. That should have been a choice. But let's say Killing Me Softly, right? Which she sampled. That's not her song, but whatever. Of that, and I just hear the emotion and know that like I'm singing it with her, and I felt it when I was a kid. Like I really know about like some deep heartbreak, but it's not really even about that. It's more like in the lens of being a therapist, I can empathize with other people because I know what it feels like to have emotion. And I feel like R&B has a range of all of that.
Mm.
And that's where it comes in with mental health. Like I don't have to know. I ain't never statute of limitations. I right now will also say I have not recently or in my whatever, it doesn't matter. That I know I have not busted the windows out of somebody's car, but I can relate to that very much so, right? I can understand, not even because I've necessarily been there in the way that Jasmine Sullivan has been there, but I can feel the emotion and be like, okay, well, I know what it's like to feel disappointed in somebody, let down about something, and all of these things. So I feel like it's just an easy crossover. Because that's the point, right? That's why we were doing this. Why we were singing songs goes back to slavery. Why was he in the field singing spirituals? Because we have emotions, right? We need to get those out. We gonna be singing these spirituals. Where we at now? R&B. We doing the same thing. Don't get me started. Don't get me started.
Oh, I love it.
So we was
Wading
wading in the water.
Here we
I'm
are.
about to hop on the train. I'm about to hop on the train because that's exactly where I was gonna go with the whole R&B mental health thing. So like, I look at it as us passing our stories down, right? Because that's what music was all about for us. It's passing on the stories. That's how the hymns
Right.
started. That's how the spirituals started and got passed down because we weren't allowed to read and write during slavery. So we had to sing songs and pass them some way. So that's the part. It's basically recalling and passing down learned knowledge. So learn what I did here, so you can do it differently or avoid it yourself. That's how I look at the R&B and mental health aspect of these lyrics. Because like, let's get into it. We got the dirty macking songs out there, which most people at the time we're like, bunk this other dude, I'm gonna go get her because she needs to be treated like a queen. But not realizing is like, is that the healthiest way of doing it? Talking down about another individual, even though individual may be in the wrong, not the right way to do things. But let's just adding my little 2 cents onto that question.
So I'm rocking with all y'all answers. Y'all killed that. And I'm gonna keep it short and sweet. The reason why we feel it so much is because music operates on a frequency that nobody can see. You can only feel. So it's gonna hit different because especially for black folks, I'm gonna just call a spade for black folks because we feel everything. Everything, absolutely everything.
We have so much to feel. Come
Exactly.
on, we have more. Not arguably, it's a fact, but we have more to feel.
Exactly. And I just feel like so any situation that happens, right? It can be across the globe. So I hate even bringing this up, but in Buffalo, when that man went in there into that supermarket and shot that up, I don't care if you identify with black or not. If you were black, you felt that somewhere. It was just like it was either anger, sadness, whatever. Everybody felt that. So when somebody makes music, especially black folks make music, right now in this moment, you may not feel it. But 5 years from now, you're gonna feel it. There's a situation that's going to pop up, you're gonna feel it. And I think that's why the lyrics are so impactful. It's just like Jasmine said, like, yo, I was young, I didn't really understand what you was talking about. Who would have knew 12 years later? Oh yeah, if I'm not Kyle. Oh, you could kick rocks. You know what I mean? Like you don't know.
Not Kyle.
You just don't know. So that's my answer on it. Like, but you got some heavy stuff that you going with next, and I'm curious, bro. I'm just curious.
All right.
Wait, can I ask you a question before you do that though?
Absolutely.
This is just for research purposes. Either of y'all, did y'all ever have I'm not gonna say a rap career, but did y'all ever rap to express your emotion?
Facts.
I'm just curious.
That would be me.
Well, I'll keep it short and sweet. Never rapped a day of my life.
Okay.
I was more of a note writing person. That's probably how I figured it out. But it wasn't like I was gonna spit a couple of bars. But my buddy Opal over there, I'm gonna let him speak.
Queen, what
That's
you
your
want to
ministry.
know? What you want to know,
That's
Queen?
your ministry. I'm just asking. No, I'm just curious. I have a hypothesis.
What was your rap
Oh,
name?
wow.
it's,
Okay.
it's still used to this day. It's Black Polymath. BP.
Okay. Okay.
And then
I'm here for that. But
So can I ask Jasmine? Jasmine, why you ain't ask me if I had bars?
I'm getting there. I'm trying to get there. But my hypothesis is, I'm not being sexist right now. I'm just saying my hypothesis is that Black men especially, for whatever reason, music is like mental health to them. Like I've been far and few between to not meet a Black man that hasn't had, not even, they don't have to rap, but like writes down their stuff in like music form, or like has something going on personal that's like not journaling, not diarying, but something for them in a different way. And I feel like that's, maybe it's not, but I feel like it's unique to us Black folks. So I don't know. But Charmaine, what's your rap name? Did you want to share that with us? Get all that.
C-Dub, none of that, nothing.
Nah, it
C
might be
Murder.
C-Maze. What you talking about?
Right, I was gonna say C Murder.
Yeah, it was C Meezy. C Meezy on the beat.
Did you have bars though?
Of course I got bars.
Ooh.
Now don't ask me to say that's cool, but don't do that.
Do we have time for a performance?
I like it. I like it. I like it.
Oh, if I'm piggybacking on what you're saying and your hypothesis, I would have to say if I'm gonna be your little test population, you know, me going back to master's program, right? You spot on. I'm gonna just speak for myself. For me, before I got into therapy as either a client or the therapist, for sure, music was my mental health. That was my therapy. Like that's what I'm saying. I was not to say I'm easily influenced, but in the moment, if I'm listening to the 50 Cent Heat, you should probably have a good day and cross the street. Leave me alone. It's gonna be a problem. But if it's Sade Smooth Operator, like I mean, I know that can come off as feminine, right? Back in the days, we're talking about the 90s, not 2022, trying to cancel people. Chill. Back in the day, that was considered real soft, real feminine. But I could listen to that and I could have a problem with you from 3 weeks ago. You could look at me and give me the ugliest face. I'm gonna be like, smooth operator. You got it, bro. I'm gonna let you make it. You got it today. So for sure, that was like a therapist talking to you, like, we're gonna let them make it today, right? No. Sign on the door says push. Like, you know what I'm saying? So I'm with you on that. That's a good hypothesis. If you doing the doctor's degree route, I would say go for it.
Yeah,
That's a
no.
good.
Absolutely not.
Yeah, no. I'm gonna jump in just to add a little bit of that. So I may not have been like the rapper, and you know, I did write stuff down, but I think more so me was getting me in the right headspace for certain things. And I love dancing. So me finding the right songs to dance to, that was always the thing.
That's true.
So I think you are spot on to I think you are spot on to
We
something.
talking about pop locking? Like, what we doing? What's going on?
I was like, let me find out that you got dance fever,
What
like
we
Big Mike
doing?
in the
What's
woods.
happening?
Come on, come through.
Hey, Mike, you gonna have
Yeah, no, I got
nah, don't do that. Mike, push back off the seat and go ahead and do a little dance.
Oh, I am not pushing back off the seat right now. You are bugging. Nah. Now, what I am going to say is that yes, I did dance. Hip hop was my main thing, but also took it to church. No, I was in mine. Um, but you know, but but the thing is, it was
Not
like
surprised.
we see these mimers out here today, and you know, they just do this. They act out the words. Me and my mime group back in the day, my brothers in the church and whatnot, we danced. Like we took stuff from ballet, we took stuff from football, basketball, we took stuff from hip hop and incorporated that. Like we brought tutting into mine when we were dancing. So that's a whole another story. But to bring it back
I'm an OG. All right.
but bring it back to what you were saying, but yeah, no, like even when I mime, like I had to play certain music before I went on for like certain songs for me to make sure I was ministering to the people in the right frame of mind. Like I've seen people joke, cuss before they're about to go minister, and you about to go minister and do all this stuff from the Lord, but your mindset ain't right. Nah, that's not something I would do. It was straight me in my zone, me commuting with the man upstairs, playing my gospel songs to get going. Just like in football, I had my set playlist to get me riled up and pepped up for
Right.
that. Even in the track meet, for me to get hype. And and then you got the times when you're going out with your boys, you gotta get the right songs going. You gotta have that right energy to enjoy the night. So your hypothesis is definitely, I think, it's spot on.
Yeah, sure.
I appreciate that.
Welcome, welcome. So now to get to the elephant in the room,
Please do.
did '90s R&B have a huge impact on sexuality? So let me give you the behind the scenes thought behind this question. So when we look at '90s R&B, we've been talking about the smooth, cool, the smooth operator, and the things of that nature. But let's actually think about it and go into the lyrics in some of these songs. Like I already mentioned Dirty Mackin earlier, right?
Mm-hmm.
But I want to actually bring it to one of my favorite artists of all time, his sister, Miss Janet Jackson. In
Okay.
the early '90s, ain't no one expect the quiet, Miss Conservative Jackson
No, indeed.
to be Miss Sexual and call me Miss Jackson if you're nasty. So '90s R&B, when we actually look back and start listening to some of these songs, it's like it's empowering the black woman and her sexuality and to talk about the things that she wants to talk about. Two, the black males are telling the woman what they want to hear and need to hear to move on in a relationship and things of that nature. And it's also helping people explore these different ideas of sexuality that we wouldn't normally have spoken about until that decade of music came out. So that's where this question came from. And I wanted to see if there are any other tidbits you guys want to add.
Summarize that, please. In your own words, Mike. Summarize
My
that.
own words.
Yeah.
I feel like the '90s, right? And this is also, I think I'm looking at it also as our parents, our grandparents looking at us from a different instance.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like the '90s opened up another level or door to sexuality that people weren't expecting.
Based on the music.
Based
That's
on
that's I would agree with you if I hadn't heard the 1924 song "Shave 'Em Dry" by Lucille Bogan. Shorty said she'd have sex with you so good you cry. This is way before Cardi B. I'm just saying. And if you don't believe me, look the song up yourself. Okay? Shave 'Em
No.
Dry.
So no, I get what you're saying, but think about it like this. You just named one song from that era. Is there many more?
But they had speakeasies. Okay, so it wasn't mainstream. Let's say that. So you're saying in the 90s it became mainstream to sexualize the music? Is that where we're going?
Exactly. Think about it like this. Like even though we're not really talking about hip hop, but hip hop is a culture thing also, right? That
Okay.
grew up with R&B
Right.
and the
It's
'90s.
sister.
Yep.
It's in the family tree. We all the same.
Yep.
Yeah.
Think about how many songs that were created in the '90s
Right.
that people in Congress was like, "Oh, we can't play this. We're gonna sue this artist for it." Think about that.
Okay.
It's because their kids were listening to it, and you know what I mean by their kids. But that's another story.
No, that's fact. That's fact. So in between the sheets, Ron Isley and them, that don't count as raunchy enough.
Oh, yeah.
See,
See, hold on now, because I feel like that you have to have a level. See, I know I was gonna last, but I feel like that you're supposed to have a level of like listening and understanding, because like for me as an adult, I understand exactly what Ronald Isley said when he said, "I love the way that you released me." Come on now, I understood what he was saying. But as a kid, there's a difference in between like the actual like baby making music that we had in the 90s, that was a whole lot more
Mm.
explicit. Like, so yeah, there was a whole lot more rawness that started happening
Yeah.
during that time. Also, not to mention that, like you said, mainstream, we're bringing in music videos that
Okay.
brought in a whole different element of sexuality. So each of these songs that were being played, we also had music
Visuals.
videos that like were hypersexual.
Video
So
vixens.
like,
Mm.
yes, the video vixens came in. These girls were half naked. Everybody's in the bed. Like, then like there's like 5 girls to 1 dude. Like, I can't like, so there's like this whole different aspect that was brought into it. I think that sometimes it also gave a little bit of like a false reality.
I
True.
think that's big right there. I think that's a big thing. It's definitely created a false reality. Because if you think about that, let's think about the 90s as a whole, right? Because we've
Mhm.
been kind of dibbing and dabbing about how everything affected each other. What also happened in the 90s that was big, the war on crime, the prison, the school to prison pipeline, was increasing at that moment in time, taking fathers out of their homes. So kids aren't actually having the male perspective and guidance in a two family house. There's only one parent now at these points. So a lot of that stuff goes into that too. So
Definitely. But I think that I think you're making my point though. Like, if I'm pushing back on what you're saying, I feel like the sexuality part, it was only drawing on something that was already there. Right? Like, I feel like it's part of the whole mentality of like, oh, like hip hop makes people violent. No, does it just amplify what people are already going through?
Mm.
And the same with the sex.
Yeah. Or like you said, it's a diary of what they're already
Exactly.
dealing with.
This is
It's just
not
like
new.
it's just
They're
put
not
it on
doing
right.
anything new. People aren't
Mhm.
being influenced necessarily because they're saying these things out loud. They live this. They came from this. And the same, I think part of it is like when we learn about this music, usually like when we understand it and it hits us. Not that we fully understand it, but like we are teenagers, we preteens, like we are just coming to the part of like, oh, I have a sexuality. Like, what is this? What we doing over here? And I think it's always been there. I just think some of those songs didn't make it to Saturday morning cleaning service. That's what I think. Because there absolutely was, I gotta lick it before I stick it, right?
Mhm.
I don't remember who exactly saying that, but it was there. But we ain't gonna sing it in Saturday mornings when it's time to clean up.
Mhm.
Or at least we didn't in my house. Maybe y'all did. I don't know what y'all did. That's fine. But even speaking for my saved and sanctified mother, R&B still had a hold on because I can remember as a child, Tony, what is it? Feels good.
Ooh, it
Mhm.
And
feels
that lady in the
good.
background. And I'd be like, oh my God, like, what are we doing? But that's what we was doing. This is not new. Okay. We've been doing this. I just think maybe we have less to draw from in the passing down of R&B songs in that way. And for us, it was just all out in the open. We got cameras, we got TVs, we got MTV. We gonna show y'all what we doing. And we have records of it forever and always. Which is that good or bad? I don't know.
And sex sells.
You know what? I gotta agree with y'all because as I'm listening to y'all speak, and then this might be TMI, but this is me. This is what I do. Touch Me, Tease Me, and Adina Howard, Freak Like Me are 2 songs that turned me out. I'm just saying. Once I heard them and then I seen the videos, I was just like, oh, oh, what does that feel? You know what I mean? Like, what does that feel like? Or
But
so I gotta.
and I think that the hard thing is that like I said, that sometimes it creates this false reality because like I know for like for a lot of it's like young females to watch stuff like Freak Like Me or t-shirt like t-shirt and things or to like see like Little Kim Hardcore, and then it was like all the guys wanted this. It was like, so wait, do I need to like put on like my push-up bar and like do I need to like go out and like not have any clothes on, and then like we're gonna add in a whole nother little sprinkle colorism. The only girls in this video was like was like light skin with long hair. So like what if like I didn't fit that? So now we got like self-esteem issues. All of that stuff goes in there of like this false of like how we're supposed to look. like how this is supposed to be set up. Does he love me if he didn't have like all the candles in the house like
The
they did in the on
roses.
Bended Knee video?
Yeah.
Like what is?
Right. Y'all spitting today. Okay.
Okay.
Coming with
Okay.
it. Loving
All
it.
right. How significant was R&B in the 90s looking back in hindsight?
How do you put that into one word? I mean, like pivotal.
Mm.
I feel like it. I can't even quantify it in a way. Like it changed everything. Also, that was the era when soundtracks slapped. Do you hear me? Like a movie soundtrack, you would listen to that thing all the way through. That's it. I ain't got nothing else to say. That's it. That's
Fact.
enough.
That's facts.
It changed cinema. Okay, that's fine. That's what I got to say.
Anything to add?
Yeah, I don't know. That's
It's
that's
a
just
mic
it.
drop.
Yeah, that definitely was a mic drop. I don't think I can add too much more to that either. Oh, it was just 90s. Whew, that's just a beast on its own. I think we all can agree that the 90s is a beast and will forever be a beast. It before when we were younger, I think when we think about it, everyone was saying, "Oh, the 70s was it." I feel like the 70s was always the go-to back then. Like you may hear the 80s, but everyone talked about the 70s. But now everyone says the 90s. Where the 90s parties at? So
Mm.
the significance is huge.
Okay, I like where you went there. I want to add something that most people don't think about. And this might be opinion, but I think it's facts. I want to say 90s music, period, 90s, especially 90s R&B was the first time it was introduced into cartoons and kids shows. That type of music. I don't really,
Oh,
I'm just, you think of Looney Tunes and things like that. Space Jam had R&B. Welcome to the, it was more poppy, but it was still R&B.
What were those little raisinets? do y'all
What about the Raisinets? What?
yo, that's a
Why, yo?
didn't they
yo.
didn't they used to
Nets.
sing?
Don't
But
judge
Don't
what
judge me.
me.
They used to
era
look in
is
my
that?
head.
My mama was a Raisinette when she was a
I really
child.
don't
What
know.
are you talking about?
But like, didn't they used to sing?
Was it us though? Was it our music?
I thought it was. I thought it was
You
like little
know
like
the
black
funny
singers.
thing is with
It was Betty Boop from us.
them Raisinets, you know,
Yeah.
she
She
might
might be
be
on
on
point.
to
Yeah, she
something.
might be on to something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she might be on to something because you know what? They might have brought them
You know.
back to do songs of the day. They might have.
Mhm.
They might have. So, yo, that's
Charmaine
a
be knowing.
great. I never thought about that.
You in the bag for that one.
Oh, facts. I give you that.
Right, deep in. All right.
All right.
Okay.
I was just gonna say.
So
Go
I
ahead.
can't really, as far as like certain shows and everything. I definitely think so. I'm also
Well, I immediately was
yeah.
gonna say the Goofy movie.
Or-
Right. Right.
Legit.
Facts.
Right.
I
The
think
The
Rugrats
Proud Family
movie.
was right there. Like it's straddling the line. It's 2000s, but the Proud Family, like just all the
Mhm.
music that went
Even
with it.
even them little white babies, the Rugrats, they introduced it.
You right. Come on, Maya.
Yeah.
Take me there.
Or like y'all don't sleep on the Lion King.
Best
We
movie
all
of all
know
time.
Jason Weaver killed it.
But can we talk about how that's a black
Like-
movie?
Yeah,
We don't
go
talk
ahead.
about
Go ahead, Queen.
It's a black movie.
Go ahead.
The Lion King is a black movie. Y'all can't tell me nothing.
Now that's facts.
Look.
I don't care what y'all say. Aladdin was a
Look,
black
look,
movie
look,
too.
look.
Like there's
All we can say in
I don't know if we can
Lion King,
Oh.
say in
Mufasa,
Egypt, maybe. But they ain't there. Okay.
Mufasa was the greatest voice of all time. James Earl. You can't get more back into that. You know how many things he done did? And then the mama was a Jamaican black lady who died.
Was she?
Yes.
I never knew that.
Yes.
I can
I
see
wish
that.
they would
Yeah,
make a
yeah.
movie about a jungle in Africa and it ain't got no black people in it.
Right.
Yo, facts. All right. In your opinion,
Mhm.
what is the biggest difference in today's R&B versus the 90s?
The souls are different. I'ma say it.
Yep.
The souls are different.
I'm with you on that, bro. With you on that.
I'm not gonna say it don't hit the same because there's certain songs. Tim's Free Mind is wild. That'll take you on a ride. Okay, but as a collective, they're not being challenged by their counterpart. When Chris Breezy came along, there was a shift, and we was like, "Oh, we got to step it back up," right? But then they went to kind of a poppy thing. Whereas back in the day, you had 112, you had Alert, like you had all these people. SWV, they was going blow for blow, and if you ain't come with it, you was gonna get left aside.
Look, Genuine, Tyrese, Usher.
Carl Thomas, yeah, bro, like it was too many.
But I feel like that sometimes too, and maybe it is like the current state of where we're at. I feel like that when certain people come out, I don't know if it's like management or if it's like, you know, what like appeals, they don't get like the push. Like
Yep.
people don't flock to like you know those singers when they do come out, and because like I know I can still listen to like you know Luke James and just be like, but like he's not a big person, like you know that everyone just like talks about like you know his musical ability the way that we do, like you know some of these other like other
so
singers and stuff like that.
I'm add this too while we going. So like, I think I could name like 5 to 6 artists right now who would probably be great in the '90s if they came out in the '90s. Giveon,
Mhm.
Her,
Mm-hmm.
Khalid,
Mm-hmm.
Khalid, because you gotta have the right songs too, right? So, but
Yeah, I'm thinking
I'm
about the
still
songs.
struggling to name like 2 more.
Let me tell you though, and I feel like that she reminds me of a baby Erica Badu.
Yes.
Ari
Oh,
Somebody
okay.
did say that.
has
Yes,
like
I
that.
guess.
Mm-hmm.
Shea
But-
Butter Baby.
but as
Oh my
you-
gosh.
But as you can see, in the '90s, we can rattle them off. Now we struggling.
Right.
Struggling. Like even now, I would say some of the best R&B songs that come out now are still from some of our artists from the '90s.
Or that sample the 90s. Say
Sampled,
that.
yep.
Yep.
That's the
Or they
thing.
wrote on it. They ghost wrote it.
Mhm.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I hate being a negative auntie that's always like, this new generation is like not doing exactly. But at the same time, sometimes I am hard pressed to find something that I really fool with like that in the same way that I would 90s music.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I'm gonna address the elephant in the room. So for those of y'all that don't listen, y'all need to go check out the Mentally Dope podcast. Okay, it's on all streaming platforms. You know, and there was an episode about Janae Aiko. Back up on my BS.
Uh-oh.
I mean, since we're gonna talk about it, Queen, let's talk about it.
Talk about it.
You had said, and you did it so casually. You was just like, "What? What song is that? What is that?" Janae Aiko, back on my BS, and no judgment. I just want you to speak on that, like, because you're saying like my music is in the '90s. I can't really get jiggy with this new stuff. You got to really, you got the bar set high. You gotta present something that touches your soul. So, what was it about that song that you just like? Because I'm pretty sure you've seen it on the radio or something. You just like, I don't want to listen to that.
Y'all gonna kill me. Not y'all,
Good,
but
you good.
whoever's listening. Look, whatever. I'm just gonna say what I gotta say. So I feel like these artists are talented, but something that drives me that I can't. Okay, my number one favorite artist, like when she died, I cried. I dressed up like I was going to the funeral. Whitney gone.
Alright,
She ain't
do it.
coming back. I don't want to. I still can't talk about it. Right.
Mm.
So for me, that's a high bar. Whitney can sing, okay? And I feel like, let's say Janae, she can sing too, but why she whispering? I don't like it. Like, like she's not showing her talents in the way that I am accustomed to and that I appreciate. I'm gonna say that. That doesn't mean she's not talented, but I want to hear you do some vocal range. I want to hear you show me what you can do. I'm closer to a Jasmine Sullivan than Janae Aiko. That doesn't mean I can't appreciate her music for what I appreciate her kind of music for. But like Summer Walker, that's cute, but y'all whispering. Say it with your chest. Say something. Give me that emotion that really makes me feel things. That's my opinion. That doesn't make it fact. But I'm just saying that's where I land with it. I can appreciate her. It's a bop, but I ain't listening to her on my free time because
Oh
I
nah.
need to feel things.
I
Oh
see where she
nah.
going with it though.
Oh, ain't no C. Listen, I'm gonna say this just like this for all listeners. Jasmine got the official D neighborhood therapist stamp. Y'all say anything
Ooh,
about
I
her,
got a
y'all
stamp.
want to smoke, come holla at me because she hits facts. All facts. Stop whispering. She said what she said. Stop whispering.
Yo, she
Say it with your
no
chest. And
facts.
I will always love you.
Oh,
Okay, so say it with your chest.
Yeah,
say
Now
it with your chest.
you know the
I'm with
funny
you.
thing is when you brought up Whitney, yeah, Whitney's a great example because the thing
What?
is people don't even realize Whitney did R&B, she did the pop,
Mm-hmm.
She
and she
did.
did gospel,
She sure
and
did.
you felt it in all of them.
Right. The
So
emotion was there.
yeah, I get it. I get it. I get it. And Whitney had her moments when she went her little whisper, and you still felt it. So you right,
Hmm.
you
Mm.
right, you right.
Effortlessly.
Yep. Bodyguard soundtrack. Come on.
Right.
Preacher's wife.
She done. We don't need anything else.
Right.
We're done.
Speaking of it, did those movies come out in the 90s?
Hmm.
Yeah, right.
The Bodyguard
Mm-hmm.
100%
Point
did.
taken.
Understood.
Ain't nothing better. Prove us wrong. Whoever got to say it. Prove us wrong. Try if you want to. I don't think we wrong.
Let me ask this. What's some of the best life lessons you have learned from R&B to date?
I think for me, I learned to be authentic. I think that I've learned that from one of my biggest ones, and I'm not like, don't get me wrong, Whitney still takes me out, but
Mm.
Prince took me out. Like, but I think that one of the things that I learned from people like him was just to be authentically yourself, whether it looks the way that people want it to look, whether it sounds the way that people want it to sound. If you just show up and be you, and they're gonna have to adjust. And I think that that's something that I've just learned from that to stand boldly, whether it's in my womanhood, whether it's in my sexuality, whether it's in like the clothes that I wear, just to figure out who I am and stand boldly in that.
Bars. You
Damn.
were supposed to go
Okay.
last, but bars.
As usual. And you keep going first.
Sorry.
Bars. Appreciate it.
Cut my mic off.
Nah,
Let's go. I can't follow that. Don't do it.
listen. I'm gonna jump in here. Don't worry. He always does this because he says that to me all the time, and then he drops something knowledgeable. So it's all good. So I'm gonna piggyback on your boldness because I think at that time in the 90s, men were men, but in the
Be
90s
careful.
it showed another side of men.
Be careful.
Oh, come on.
Be careful. I'm just
You
telling you, be careful. Go ahead.
yes, but
This is
people
good because I wanted to ask this question.
people
Speak to it.
understand. No, people understand where I'm coming from. It's all right. Don't worry. In the 90s, because men were taught to be masculine, not supposed to show emotion. Da 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 this, da 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 that. The 90s definitely broke that wall. So like Charmaine said, I was comfortable in who I was or becoming comfortable over the years because you're still growing into the individual you were. And show my emotions, telling people how I feel, and all that good stuff. So I can definitely say that's the life lesson I learned is basically speaking how you're supposed to speak as yourself. So yeah, coming with a boldness and being the emotional guy that I've always been. So yeah.
Jasmine, you mind if I go next?
Absolutely. Go ahead.
Okay. Um, this is more relevant of the times now, but what I've learned from R&B is that grass ain't greener on the other side. I've been there. Like honestly, um, I would say that music has taught me how to be a better man, how to be a better husband. There's, I'll talk about it. I got cheaters in my family. So that's what I've seen growing up. So what I don't want to do is be the reincarnation of that. So you learn from their situation, but you also learn from R&B. Hey, this is what heartbreak sounds like. Do you want to do that to somebody else? Better yet, do you want that done to you? Nah, I don't want no parts of that. So do unto others as you want done to yourself. That whole, the whole Bible quote on that. But I really do just be thinking about that grass ain't green on the other side. Dot dot dot. I've been there. That's what R&B. For me, that's what I learned the most from R&B.
That's beautiful. Okay. All right. So when the question was asked, the first thing that popped in my mind was a specific lyric. So I'm gonna double down on what I said about Miss Janae. We love you, but whatever. You know what I'm trying to say. So for me, R&B, especially female R&B, taught me boundaries. And I think that I feel like it didn't hit me. I didn't realize it until now. Because if we're going Beyonce, if we're going Destiny's Child, all the stuff, a lot of what they were talking about is like, we're not going to do this no more. Like, whatever it is, we're not going to deal with the BS. We're not going to deal with scrubs. We're not going to deal with dudes that ain't paying our bills. And not that it's about like the monetary stuff, but it's more about just like we get to say no. Like we have the agency to say no. We have the agency to choose what we need. So if you don't mind, I'm gonna read you a quick lyric, okay? The what album? Beyonce's first album. I want to say her first self-titled album. It says for Green Light. Y'all know Green Light, the song. Okay. It says for some strange reason you done pleasing me like it's okay. But like a perm that's been left too long, it starts to burn, and the result is it just won't take. And then the rest, she just say, no, we're not doing it no more. We're done. I'm done. And I feel like that's perfect. Boundaries, because them R&B girls, they gonna tell you,
Right.
where to go and what to do.
Right. Respect.
So, as we're wrapping this up, this question, this is a question we always ask our guests, but specifically, anything you want the listeners to know about you guys' future plans.
Charmaine.
Don't look at me. I'm going last.
We have some videos coming out. Let me see what we have. What's the movie that traumatized us? Traumatized me. I'm sorry.
Mr. Society.
Minister Society. We were
Really?
reviewing that movie, so we're gonna talk about that a little bit. And I mean, I really shouldn't. Oh, and female friendship is what we're gonna be talking about next. Like our next 2 videos coming out, we're gonna talk about this a little bit. And so just I don't know, follow us, see what we're doing next, and you might see your favorite people on the BMM podcast as well over there. So surprises ahead.
Oh yeah.
Easy.
We're taking over the world. The world
World domination.
The world.
Big in the brain. What we doing?
I like that analogy a lot. Classic 90s cartoon. Which was part of the Animaniacs. Most people don't even put those two together, but of course.
But did you hear Menace to Society?
Yeah, I heard
It's
that
called
too, bro.
PTSD.
Yes.
I heard that too, bro.
I need y'all at me when y'all drop that, please. Thank you.
Absolutely, we will, but don't do that because I told you my background. I had never seen the movie full out. I probably have seen clips. I've never seen the full movie. And the very beginning, I'm sensitive. I can't do all that.
Oh, okay. Because that's intriguing to me. Like, I just really want to like. I'm one of them people that deep dives into episodes and podcasts and things. So that's gonna be. I'm really gonna be tuned in. Like I'm already tuned in, but that one I'm gonna be like, tell me more. Okay. So all right. Okay.
We got another fan.
Absolutely.
All 10 of them. We got like 10 fans now. Yeah, I'm excited.
You got so what I tell people is if you saying it's 10, it's actually 20 because those 10 people are playing it for somebody else in the room.
Shut up. Okay.
Technically, if it's not even 20, you gotta say like 30 because there's at least 2 other people in the room besides them.
That or they playing it in their radio. You know, especially out here in Houston, they got their windows down, playing on their system, and somebody else hearing it in traffic.
Look, we got smart houses now. They playing it in every room.
Yes.
Come on now.
I know, right? I perceive it.
All of that. You got the last go, Queen. What else in y'all future?
I told you it's the world, Craig. The whole world.
Coming to a city near you. Okay, that's where we'll be.
Okay. Mike, you got anything? Because I'm satisfied. This has been a pleasure. I appreciate y'all for coming on here, like for real. Because
Thank
me
you guys
me
for
and Mike,
inviting us.
me,
Yeah,
I
it's
mean,
been
I
super
for
We
fun.
real, I
appreciate
appreciate y'all. Because me and Mike been going bar for bar, blow for blow, looking for queens, specifically queens
facts. That is
that
true.
was from the '90s that we could do this with. And we was like, yo, this ain't gonna work. And then mysteriously one day, this podcast popped on. I was like, click. What they talking about? '90s? Nah, can't be. And I sent out that SOS. Y'all took a little while. I understand why y'all took a little while.
Yes,
Okay,
yes.
y'all had to do y'all research,
We just had to
right?
make sure you were not problematic. We can't be doing all that. We don't need the problems. But y'all passed the test, so it's all right.
Appreciate it.
Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
Any questions for us at all?
I mean, do you guys have anything special coming up next?
Go ahead, Mike.
All right. So we all know that we've been talking a lot about a different couple of things, building to momentous occasions. Last season, you guys found out I got engaged, so the wedding is coming later this year. Whoop 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 whoop. And on top of that, with the wedding coming bigger and better things, business opportunities. I'm currently in process of building my own creatives to be selling custom creatives because I am the marketing genius on this podcast. So I'll be focusing on logos, flyers, t-shirts, and potentially sneaker designs, um, ad journals and things of that nature. I've done those in the past and I'm building on my skills now. So be on the lookout for that. And man, that's probably about it on my end.
You saying like that's small, though? That's epic. So
I was like,
It's a
that's a
light
lot, Mike.
flash, no big deal. What?
hey, if I can't be humble about it and let the money come in, I ain't for it. So I like to keep humble because that's good
I
energy.
told you, I need you to be on your Kanye West right there and be your biggest fan. Like that's what we need. We need that yay energy.
Yeah, but I think we got enough Kanye's in the world. We don't need another one. I'm good right now.
That's a whole nother episode, y'all.
Yup.
True indeed.
We appreciate y'all though. Like we really do. Y'all have been so professional about this whole thing. We just the black man experience. If there's a black man in my presence, I gotta lift him up a little bit and let y'all know. Like y'all really doing something out here. I see it.
Appreciate
It's
it.
changing lives, I can tell. Even if folks haven't said it out loud, or even if they had. Y'all have reach. Y'all doing something out here.
Appreciate
Appreciate it.
Oh, Mike, you got anything?
Nah, man. All I got to say is, with that being said, we see y'all next week.
Early.
What up, listeners? Mike B here. Hope you enjoyed the episode. You can find us on IG at BMM_podcast. On TikTok at BMM Podcast. Facebook, just type in the Black Man Misunderstood Podcast. And then you can find the Neighborhood Therapist at the Neighborhood Therapist on IG. And you can find myself at MikeB_BMM on IG. And if you want to connect with our producer, the DJ himself, Mr. DJ Daxter, check him out at DJ Daxter on IG. All right, folks. See y'all next week.